皆さん、Questions from our listeners のコーナーです。
Thank you for your questions.
And today's question is from Every in Yamaguchi Prefecture to Joe.Every
is a unique name. I wonder why Every.
広島には Every ってスーパーがあるよ。
Oh, okay.
And what English words coined in Japan do you think are strange? Coined っていうのは外来語とか日本で作られた日本語英語みたいなことですね。
Okay, which katakana words are kind of strange? Okay, I will go the top 3 that I think are strange from number 3 to number 1.
Okay.
Number 3 I will say is biking.In English, it's really a buffet or all you can eat. So I don't really understand when I hear the word biking, right? It's a buffet in English. I like to eat buffets or I like to eat all you can eat dinners or places like that. Okay, and the second and the first strangest ones are kind of related. Number 2, I will say, is office lady.
OL さんのことですね。
Right, so office lady is not English.You would say she is an employee or she is a secretary, she's an assistant, or even she's an office worker, that's okay. But an office lady is not English, right? And number 1 is kind of related. It is a salaryman. Salaryman is not English. In English, you need to say exactly what the work is. For example, he is a businessman, or she is an executive in a company.Or he is a government employee, that's okay, I guess. But you need to be a little more exact. You cannot say a salaryman.
それではまだまだ Twitter、Facebook、アプリのレビューから皆さんの質問をお待ちしております。ぜひぜひどうぞ。
はい。
皆さんこんにちは。Questions from our listeners のコーナーです。
Yes, my favorite part of the podcast.
And today's question is from Yuta in Oita Prefecture to me. Thank you.
Oh, Oita. I wonder if he goes into hot springs a lot. Right. What's the question? Oh, the question I will tell for K. Yes. Wow. And the question is, how do you study English K? What ways do you recommend to me?
Well, my favorite ways to study English is, for example, to watch English movie with English subtitle.
Yeah, to watch movies. Very good, like that.
Or English songs, listening to English songs. Or, well, I'm no longer doing that, but I used to keep a diary or take notes in English. So that would help your writing skill, I guess.
Yeah, very good, very good. Try to do something that you like and your English will improve.
それではまだまだアプリのレビュー、Facebook、Twitter で文化的、個人的な質問まだまだお待ちしておりますので、どうぞ。
Bye.
皆さん、こんにちは。Questions from our listeners のコーナーです。イェイイェイ。And today's questions is to you, Joe.
Okay.
This is from Corn K in Hokkaido.
Corn K in Hokkaido.
Corn K.
Nice
I
name.
understand corn, but what's K? Do people often fly kites in America?
Fly kites, right.
Fly kites.
Okay. The answer is yes. It's probably about the same as in Japan, I think. Except in Japan, usually it's around New Year's, right? But in America, no special time.
Oh, really?
I would say maybe in the spring, March, when the winds are pretty strong. Something like that is probably. But kites are not really associated with any particular time of the year in America. Any time is good. It's like that.
それではまだまだ Twitter、アプリのレビュー、Facebook で私たちへの個人的、文化的な質問をお待ちしております。それでは皆さんどしどし送ってください。バイバーイ。Questions from our listeners. Thank you.
Questions from our listeners. Thank you.
Today's question is from Pumpkin in Ehime Prefecture to Joe. Thank you.
Pumpkin, very cute name.
Yeah. And what are some important table manners when Americans eat?
Table manners in America. I will say the most important, if you're with a host family over there, is when you're eating, you should wait until the mother picks up the fork or spoon.
Oh.
You know, in Japan, often people just start right away.
Yeah.
But in America, it's very polite if you wait until the mother picks up her spoon or fork, because she made the food, she should not be over there making food. She should be eating together with us. And that's very polite if you wait.
Priority number one, mother.
That's right.
それではまだまだ Twitter、Facebook、アプリのレビューで私たちへの個人的な質問あるいは文化的な質問どんどんお待ちしておりますのでどうぞ。Bye. Bye. 皆さん、Questions from our listeners のコーナーへようこそ。イェイイェイイェイイェイ。
Thank you.
And today's question is to me. Thank you. This is from Stretch Man in Saga Prefecture.
Okay, Stretch Man asks Kay, which foreign countries have you been to, Kay? Which one is the best?
It's a hard question, isn't it? Well, I've been to America, Canada, New Zealand, Macau, Germany, and some other European countries.
Usually for a very short time.
Yeah. I don't remember so many things, especially about like Europe because I was too little.
Okay.
But well, in terms of landscape and history, I love Germany. I love Germany the best, I think.
Okay. Wow. Germany is very beautiful.
Yeah. But like, in terms of people, I love the United States because I have my host family or friends there.
Okay.
So yeah.
You were there probably the longest? Right.A few months.
Yeah.
Okay.
それではまだまだ Twitter アプリのレビュー、Facebook で私たちへの質問をお待ちしております。
Please send us your questions.
Please. Bye. Questions from our listeners.
Yay, questions.And today's question is to me. Who is it from, Kate?
This is from Shogo in 兵庫県ですね。
Okay. And what would Shogo like to know?
Okay. What do Americans, including you, Joe, do on Thanksgiving Day?
Okay. Thanksgiving, of course, is in November, late November. And actually, it's the second most popular American holiday. Number one is probably Christmas, right? And number two is Thanksgiving, because families get together and they celebrate the harvest and things like that. And in Japan, I basically don't do anything.
Okay.
But in America, my family eats turkey.
七面鳥。
Right, turkey. I've heard that like 90% of Americans eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
それではまだまだ Twitter アプリのレビューへの書き込み Facebook で私たちへの個人的文化的な質問をお待ちしております。どしどし送ってください。
Please send it. Bye.
Bye.皆さん Questions from our listeners のコーナーへようこそ。
Yay. Questions from our listeners.
And today's questions is to you, Joe.
Oh, good.
It's from Kanan in Ehime Prefecture. Thank you.
Ehime, right, in Shikoku. And what does Kanan say?
What don't you like about Japan?
What don't I like about Japan? Okay. Of course, I like a lot of things, but I'll give one example here. One thing that I don't quite like is when I'm in a very crowded train, very crowded, and I'm sitting down and the seat next to me is empty. And nobody will sit there, even though they want to sit there. Nobody wants to sit next to the foreigner. And I can think of the reason why. Maybe they're being nice to me. They want to give me lots of space. But I think they really want to sit. I wish they would sit there. Right.
Yeah, awkward.
Okay. And one other little thing about the food. Maybe I don't like natto.
Oh, yeah, fermented beans.
Right. Fermented beans. Right.Those are the only things. Everything else is good.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. それではまだまだ私たちへの文化的な質問や個人的な質問など待っていますので、どんどん送ってください。
Bye.
Welcome to Questions from our listeners.
Yay. And today's question is from 5 Years America. Strange name.
Strange name. What does it
5 Years
mean?
America.
Yeah.
And this 5 Years America, we don't know if it's a man or a woman, but the person's from Shizuoka, right? And the question is for me, I see.
And Joe, what's your favorite American food and why?
Okay, my favorite American food is my mother's spaghetti, right? She makes it really good because her grandparents were like from Italy.
Okay.
So she knows this really good recipe for making meat sauce spaghetti. Right, so that's my favorite. And there's other good stuff. For example, I really like baked potatoes. You can't get that in Japan so much. American pizza is really good. The steaks are really good there. There's a lot of ethnic food, for example, Mexican food,
Yes.
food from other countries.
それではまだまだ私たちへの文化的個人的な質問をお待ちしております。どんどん送ってください。皆さん、Questions from our listeners のコーナーです。Today's questions is from Haru in Shiga Prefecture to Joe. Thank you.
Good. And the question is?
What American place do you recommend for Japanese?
Right, for Japanese tourists, the best place is a place where you know somebody. If you have a friend there, it's very, very good. If it's just only for sightseeing, it'll be okay, it'll be fine. But the best place is if you have a friend there. Because actually, every place in America is very interesting. Every state is interesting. Lots of nature, lots of unique history, that kind of thing, like that. Of course, there are certain places that you really should go to. For example, I really like Washington, D.C., the capital. The Smithsonian museums there are very good. But every place in America, and if you like nature, in the central area, for example, my Wisconsin, in the summer, there are very nice lakes for canoeing and camping.
Yes.
So it depends what you like.
ぜひぜひ行ってみてくださいね。
That's right.
それではまだまだ私たちへの質問お待ちしておりますので、ぜひぜひ送ってくださいね。イエーイ。
Bye.
Questions from our listeners.
Yay!
Today's questions is from Fumi in Mie Prefecture. Yokkaichi to Joe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
What do you think about the Milwaukee Bucks?
The Milwaukee Bucks is an NBA team. So I guess that this Fumi really likes basketball in the NBA. And I am from Milwaukee, so I do like the Milwaukee Bucks. For example, their best player is now called Giannis Antetokounmpo. Can you say that one, Kate? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, like that. Anyway, he is super, super strong in the NBA these days. But unfortunately, the Milwaukee Bucks are not so strong usually. They're a little better than they used to be, but they're still usually weak because of smaller city. You know, the free agents usually go to big cities.
Yes.
So the small cities like Milwaukee, where I'm originally from, they can't really win the championship.
Well, but they can still make progress.
That's right, I guess. Win sometimes.
それではまだまだ私たちへの文化的な質問や個人的な質問、ポッドキャストへの質問どんどんお待ちしていますので、Facebook や Twitter、アプリへの投稿を使ってどんどん送ってください。待っています。バイ。